video to help you work towards or improve on your handstands. So today I'll be showing you the strengthening exercises that you can do without actually doing any handstands. And these will target the specific muscles that you need to be able to hold a handstand. For these exercises, I'll be using a glider, which is just a little disc that looks like this, and it basically helps you to glide along the floor. Don't worry if you don't have one, you can use items that are lying around the house. So if you're on a slippery surface like a tiled floor or a wooden floor, you're just going to put on a fluffy pair of socks, and that'll help your feet to slide along the floor. If you're on a carpeted surface, use a hardcover book with a glossy cover, and that'll slide nicely along the carpet.
You can use a folded up mat to provide some padding for your elbows. Go into a forearm plank with your elbows beneath your shoulders, your hands flat on the mat, and your forearms parallel to each other. Both feet are on the glider, and keep your hips low as you draw your knees into your chest. Your focus is to connect into your core, as well as to connect into the serratus and the lats, stabilizing through the shoulder girdle. Next up, you're going to lift your hips to go into a dolphin pike. So from that forearm plank, keep your legs straight and try to get your hips directly above your shoulders. Make sure your head is clear of the floor by pressing strongly down into your elbows and forearms. You can do 10 reps of the knee tucks and 10 reps of these dolphin pikes. Now go into a plank, spreading your fingers wide on the mat, making sure your middle finger points directly forward, and start to do those same knee tucks that you did in the forearm plank. So stabilizing through the shoulders, keeping your pelvis at the same height as you draw your knees into your chest. Then start to rotate through your waist to take your knee to your opposite elbow, moving side to side. Do 10 reps of the straight knee tucks and then 10 reps of the oblique knee tucks. Stabilize yourself in plank before starting to move into pikes, which are now a little bit harder than the dolphin pikes. Press strongly down into your hands, keep your arms straight with the muscles contracted, and connect into the lower belly to lift your hips above your shoulders. You'll get a deep connection into the lats and serratus as well, which are some of the muscles you need to strengthen to be able to do handstands. Be as light on your toes as possible and do 10 pikes. Come into a kneeling position with both hands on the glider. So it's similar to a lady push-up position, except you're going to extend your hands all the way forward and then draw them back in towards you to get a really deep connection into the lats, serratus, the intercostals, and the entire core. Make sure that you tuck your pelvis deeply to support the lower back and keep drawing navel to spine. Come back into a full plank with one hand on the glider. Stabilize your whole body and just extend that arm forward, trying not to move any other part of your body. You'll feel a deep connection into the opposite side of your torso as that is doing all the stabilizing work. Do 10 repetitions, and for the last few reps, maybe you can add a little bend in the opposite elbow so that it's like a mini push-up. Don't forget to do both arms and do the same amount of reps on each. With your knees and elbows on the mat, grab hold of the thinnest part of your bicep with your opposite hands to establish the correct distance of your elbows. Release your hands down with your forearms parallel to each other, and then lift your hips, straightening your legs, stepping your toes in as close as you're able to, and then reaching the heels down towards the floor. Make sure that your neck is relaxed and your head is free of the mat. Keep pressing strongly down into the elbows and the forearms, and press your chest through towards your thighs. You can hold this dolphin pose for a count of 10 or as long as you're able to, and then come down for a break before going up into it twice more. Now we'll transition from down dog into dolphin pose. So starting in down dog with your fingers spread wide, pressing strongly into the fingertips, try to bring both elbows down to the mat at exactly the same time. You can hold it down in dolphin for a moment before coming back up into down dog, again trying to lift both elbows at exactly the same time. You can do 5 repetitions of this, taking a break in down dog or in dolphin between reps. The trick here is to turn the eye of the elbow inwards as you lower your elbows to the mat to get a deep connection into the lats and serratus. Come to sitting with your feet out in front of you, your heels on the glider and fingers facing forward. Press the glider forward to come into a reverse plank, and then pull your hips all the way back to go into a seated pike. Hold each position for a second before moving on to the next. And when you come into the seated pike, tuck your chin in and try to lift your hips as high as you can to get that deep core connection. These are tough, so you might only manage 4 reps to start, but you can work your way up to 10 reps. Last but not least, let's do some toe taps. Do a roll down to bring your hands to the floor, spread your fingers wide, middle finger pointing forward. Make sure you've got a good solid base through your hands. And then take the weight forward into your hands so that you can lift your toe and tap your wrist or your forearm. And really connect into the lower belly. Try to get that deep core connection. And try to hold it for just a millisecond before you place your foot down. And the objective here is to really start to take the weight forward into your hands. Here's a recap for you. When you start out, 1 round should be enough, but you can work up to doing 2 or even 3 rounds of these 11 exercises. Thank you for watching, and I hope that this video has helped you.